Yo, what up, my beautiful Dowdies? How's everyone doing today? I'm your host, Foul. Let's talk about the Honkai Star Rail updated tier list. BOOTHILL is finally released, so the tier list is going to be updated. We're going to look what the Prydwen.gg has updated about the tier list. Please keep in mind that Honkai Star Rail is a game where team building matters most. And while our tier list takes optimal setup in account, a lot of characters can work and do well, even those ranked lower, when you invest into them. Also, for story or lower difficulties of simulated universe, you don't need to worry about the ratings and tiers. You can safely clear that content even with free-to-play characters as long as you build your team correctly. Now let's see what they changed. And I see a little bit of changes here and I'm excited to talk about it because I still see a few things that I don't agree with. Let's get straight into it. For the damage dealer role, the Apex characters, T0, Acheron, 100% agree with this. Acheron is the best damage dealer in the game right now, and there's no one that comes to her level in the DPS role. She needs 2 Nihility characters on the team to function, so she doesn't use Harmony characters, which could be a very big buff to consider, because then you can use your Harmony characters on the other team in MOC or Pure Fiction, whatever it is. And she quickly works very well and she deals a lot of damage. She can break all type shields, so she's a very big force to be reckoned with. T0.5. I agree with this as well. I think Dill and Jingliu are on the same level. I told you guys this many times before. Dunhang and Jingliu has always been a competition on who's better. I was always team Jingliu when she came out, and I think that was a fact that she was better. When Sparkle came out, Dunhang was better again. And I think now we're just moving in a way where a little bit on the same level on E0, of course, on the same level, and I just have pros and cons on each side. Jingliu and Dunhang, you can compare to stairs and an elevator. Jingliu has a very solid ground to stand on. Her baseline of her kit, her core being of the beginning, you know, where the feet on her ground is very strong. One of the strongest in the entire game, in my opinion. She's very easy to build and she's very quick to use, SP friendly, gives herself crit rate, is very efficient in her enhanced form. She's just very comfortable to use and it's not that much thinking and it's very easy to synergize her with a lot of characters. She just goes off no matter what. The ground below her, she stands very solid on. Step by step, every patch maybe a little bit better and just very stable, taking footsteps. Dunhang is the complete opposite. Dunhang's base ground is not as solid as Jingliu, but he can skyrocket up with the right team setup and the more investment you put into him. Jingliu takes steps every time and Dunhang is like, nah, I'm just gonna go to floor 15 instantly, shoo, and goes up. That's the difference between them. Now, that doesn't mean that Dunhang is impossible with like Sparkle or a certain amount of teams, but his best team setup and the more investment you put into him with relics or whatever it is, he's going to deal more damage than Jingliu at some point, but it's harder to pull off, but it is more DPS at some point. And you can even then look with the Eidolons as well. If they both have their Lightcon and they both have more Eidolons, Dunhang is just going to go more up and go skyrocket. And that's the difference between them. And I think that's why they both are on the same level, but they both have their own strengths and weaknesses. Then in T1, we have Dr. Ratio. Hey, pause the video right now. Over 90% of you people that watch my videos actually are not subscribed to my channel. It would mean a lot to me if you would actually consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind after. Let's continue with the video. I think Dr. Ratio is a very good character. He has a lot of supportive units right now that make him very strong. The follow-up attack scene got a lot of new characters. Now we got Aventurine and Robin that add into the mix, and they're both very good characters for this follow-up scene. Dr. Ratio got a buff, so now just, if you want a most perfect team, of course, then you have Topaz, Dr. Ratio, Robin, and Aventurine, and that team can clear everything. It's very efficient, even without it, like using a Pela or whatever it is. A Silver Wolf can be very good as well. I think Dr. Ratio is relatively easy to get online with teammates if you just have the debuffing going. Of course, he's crit rate, crit damage, so he takes an average amount of investment. But when the flow gets going, he's very good. I think the imaginary weakness right now is also getting a little bit more love. Also, why Dunhang is still very good. Imaginary, there's a lot of enemies that are actually like imaginary weak, so that's very nice to have as well. Then T0.5. I can agree with this as well. I still think that maybe there's a little bit more swapping around here in the DPS category because I don't have Jing Yuan, and I don't have a QQ build. I do have Clara, I do have Zayla. Zayla, in my opinion, just fell off a little bit. There's so many people that still defend Zayla to this day. I get why. They always put the arguments, you can still zero cycle with her. She just needs a lot of investment. I get that. It is just, for me, it's the same concept to say the higher investment you have, the more damage you will do. That is by default. It's just that the amount of investment that Zayla needs is too high and too much effort for me personally to have her more up in the tier list. That's why Jing Liu is so good. That's her strength, because she's so easy to build. And Dunhang is relatively hard to build, but not as hard as Zayla, in my opinion. Zayla takes more investment than Dale, because Dale is mostly his team. She still functions, she's still good. It's just a little bit rough to proc Resurgence on top of that. And she's a very high-skilled character as well. Like, if you really know how turn manipulation goes, Zayla is going to be a crazy good character. But because of all the knowledge, all the investments, I just think it is not that worth, unless you like the character, to do all that, put all that effort in her to get her then going or functional as a good DPS still. That's why you're way better off building other characters like a Jing Liu and then focus on other characters, and you can get the flow of your account going way faster. She deserves to be in here, or this is why her spot is. Zayla is, the consistency is hard to get going. Not impossible, but it's just harder. I do understand that it's for some people hard to see Zayla to be in the same tier as this, but because of all the factors that we just said, I think it's fair to put her in. Same concept with QQ. Yes, QQ can do a lot of damage, but it's gambling. Even with Sparkle in the mix, if you do get unlucky, it's just very clunky and it's not consistent. So it's just rough to put her higher up because she doesn't have that consistent thing. Now, with Clara and Jing Yuan, this is of course not the case because they do have consistent damage, but their damage is just lower than the rest, so they are in T5. Jing Yuan did get more love every patch, and I hope for the Jing Yuan community that keeps happening with every patch along the way with better supports or whatever it is. He is just not as good as the other characters, of course. Blade could be a little bit of a, for some people, maybe disrespectful that he's in T2, of course, but I get why they put him here. If it would have been flexibility, then he would be almost T0. Blade is a very flexible character. You can go now break on him. You can go HP. You can go crit. But as a main DPS, as a sub DPS, he's a lot of value to him. So he might go to T0.5, but I get why he's there because the other characters might deal more damage than him. And I personally think my favorite Blade is a sub DPS with Jing Liu together. But as a main DPS and solo DPSing, I can understand why he's here. But I can see some arguments why he can go to T0.5. Then in tier 3, Argenti still to this day, I think is a crime. At least he needs to be T2. I think Argenti T2 is very valuable. In MOC, if there's not enough enemies, it's a bit, there's a lot of arguments why he would be clunky to use. Pure Fiction, he's of course amazing, but in MOC, I can understand that he could be less value, but he's not the same level as Serval and Misha. Speaking of Serval and Misha, there has been a lot of controversy and a lot of things going around that Serval has a better clear time than Jing Yuan, and that she just does it better than him. On that note, you kind of want to put Serval also in T1.5 because if she does it better than Jing Yuan, then she needs to be at least in the same tier as him, right? We can then bump Jing Yuan down then or bump Serval up. I personally think Serval is actually extremely strong. Don't see her to be in the same level as Argenti though. I do still think physical, Argenti, whatever it is, I still think it's T2. I personally don't know that much about the Serval Jing Yuan thing. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys know about that. I would love to hear that conversation. But yeah, I do still think that Argenti can be tier 2. For now, my knowledge, the other two can be here. But yeah, the Jing Yuan Serval thing is a bit awkward, of course. T4, I can understand why they're here. Still think Himiko needs to be tier 2 or tier 3 at least. Himiko is way more value for what she is. I am trying to make a break Himiko work right now. Still work in progress. But if that is a very cool thing to do, then she gets more value for me as well, because Break Himiko is actually very easy to build, right? The more break effect, you just need to have a functional team around that with Harmony, Trailblazer, and so on. So Yang Qing, yeah, is what it is. I still think Yang Qing can be in tier 3 at least, and then tier 5, the Forgotten Ones. I get why they're here, of course. Specialist BOOTHILL is there. I was a bit surprised to see BOOTHILL on the specialist role. I thought he was going to be in the damage leader role. I can see why they put him in here though, because of the breaking capabilities, of course, and they really want him to be the spotlight breaker in the game as of right now. I get that he is with the same level as Kafka Black Swan. He's very strong. He deals a lot of damage. His break and damage is very, very, very good. Applies physical weakness with his ult and whatever. Very, very cool, strong character. With the rise of the break meta, he's going to be a very valuable character to pick up, and he's going to be very good with that. Kafka Black Swan, same boat. Very, very strong. DOT characters are phenomenal and will always be good. I'm a DOT lover, and I'm still hoping for that one more cool 5-star DOT character to put in the mix, and then you have a very, very amazing team. Maybe in a few patches we can get that. Topaz and Harmony Trailblazer, I agree in T1. Topaz could be considered though in T0.5 here, in my opinion. I'm okay with her being here. Harmony Trailblazer is amazing though, is the enabler of the break meta right now. Super break is just an amazing, phenomenal thing that took break meta to the next level, of course. T0.5, nothing. Then we have T2, Luca, Sampo, and Shui Yi. Again, Luca and Shui Yi get more value. Could consider to put him in here, but I am fine with T2. I think it's valuable for them to be there. And with the rise of the break meta, they are getting more value overall. But T2 is fine. T3, I think Gonaiva needs to be here as well in T2. And Welt, still to this day, is a disgrace to me. He can be right here. The flexibility of this man is ridiculous. He can go main DPS, sub DPS, support, sustainer, break, imaginary set, whatever you want to put on him, it works most of the time and it is amazing. And he works with so many different comps in so many ways. He can work with Echoron if you need another Nihility character. It is really, really, really disgraceful for him to be here. His flexibility is the best in the game. I've made a video about that on my channel as well if you want to check that out. His flexibility is crazy, and his flexibility alone needs to be here. Yes, other characters might do it better than him. If he can go solo sustain, then the sustaining capabilities of a Ho-Ho will be better, but he can work. And what he does is very solid. Still needs to be T1.5, but that's my opinion. And Gonaiva can be up here. T4, break, advance, Shushang. I think Shushang with the break meta now is way higher. Can go to T3 at least. Trailblazer can also be a little bit more up, maybe because of Echoron, but I can understand, and I get why he's there. And then the niche category, or the forgotten one, sorry, no one's there, of course. Then the Apex characters, still Ron May needs to be in T0. Ron May is on the same level as Echoron as value. She's crazy. With the rise of the break meta, she's even better, easy to use, works on every team, amazing character, phenomenal support, the best in the game, 100% the best buffer in the game. Then Robert and Sparkle, I agree, T0.5, very good characters, have very strong niches on top of that, you know, SP friendly for Sparkle, and then the follow-up synergies for Robin. They do work outside of it, but that is their main thing, of course. 100% T0.5, I agree. T1, Tingyun, 100% amazing battery character, phenomenal damage buffer, works very well. Bronya, Pela, and Silverwolf. I could consider Bronya and Silverwolf and Pela even to be up here on T1 as well. I get why they're there. Luckily, Pela got bumped up from the last time though, so that's good. I think the Pela justice, I think it's fair. Bronya and Silverwolf are, especially Silverwolf, I think a lot of people might consider Silverwolf to be T1. I get that. So if that would be the case, that is fine. Bronya fell off though. Bronya, the Harmony characters right now, the limited ones, yeah, bumped her down. I get that. And then why Tingyun is above her, I get that as well, because Tingyun still has her value with her battery capabilities. And Bronya is just worse value than these three, of course. So I get why she's lower than Tingyun, but I would be okay with her being in T1 still, because she's still a functional standalone character. It's okay. Then in T2, I don't agree with this. I think Yukong needs to be at least tier 3, and Asta and Hanya can be at least tier 2. I don't... Asta is phenomenal for DOT. Very good for enabling speed sets and whatever. It's very, very strong. Same thing with Hanya. Has a lot of cool stuff. Can enable Dunhang. Can be skill point efficient for a lot of other things. The more Eidolons, the better, of course. Yukong is a bit clunky, of course. When you understand Yukong, I mean, when you get her mechanics, she can be very, very good. So they need to be bumped up all one tier 100%. Forgotten One's nothing, of course. Then we have the Aventurine and Fushuan. I personally think that Aventurine, Fushuan, and Ho-Ho are all on the same level and need to be T0.5 because they're not on the same level as Acheron and Ranmei. They're on another level. They are not on that level. They're phenomenal characters. They will keep your team alive. They do more than just sustaining, right? But they do not do the same things as the other two. They need to be T0.5 in my book. T1, of course, we have Luocha and Gallagher right now. Gallagher got bumped up 100%. Gallagher with the break meta is a very, very, very valuable character. Deals damage on top of keeping your team alive. Luocha still fell off, of course, but still does his job. Still SP friendly and keeps your team alive. So T1, 100%. Not as much as these, you know, he's not on the level as the big three, but he does his job. So T1, 100%. Japart, still to this day, is mistreated. Japart, for me, can even go to the T1 category. Understand if no one else wants that and doesn't agree with that, of course. So at least T1.5 for me. Then Bailu, yeah, T2. I think Lynx is starting to be in the niche category. For now, it's okay, but I think T3, Lynx needs to be bumped down. Lynx is just for Blade and Clara and stuff. So yeah, Lynx is over time. Lynx in the beginning was very good. She was free. She's still very good. If you do need a sustainer, she's going to work, of course. AoE cleanse, very good. But yeah, there's just better options. And yeah, if you have a Bilo or Japart, maybe consider that over. Japart has a lot of flexibility, and that's why I just like him a lot. And if you have a well-built Japart, he just has permanent shield. It's very nice. T4, Natasha and March. I think they can go in the niche category, maybe tier, or in a tier 3 category, maybe. Like, they're not as bad as they are, but I think it's fine to have a T4. The overall glance from this, though, is pretty good. I think this is a pretty reliable source. Of course, there's some critical mistakes here, in my opinion, but an overall glance, very good. Pure Fiction is one of the most accurate ones out here. I think the damage, yeah, Herda is amazing. And then Acheron, Himiko, very good, right? Just one under her. Argenti, Jingyuan, very good. Yes, Clara, these characters, you know, you start to like not care about them at all. All single target and stuff you don't care about. Black Swan, phenomenal character in Pure Fiction. Very, very, very good. Insane with her passive. Kafka just one tier below her because Black Swan has just way more value with how she works in Pure Fiction. Kafka phenomenal still though, so that's T0.5, makes sense. Harmony Trailblazer enables dual DPSing and stuff, so 100% could work here. Might even put Harmony Trailblazer in T1, but it's okay here. And then the rest, yeah, I get all of this. This is just, you know, no one cares about this. All single target crap that you don't care about. Then Rob and Ranmei, 100% dual DPSing, full party advancement, more break, more damage, all the same things, right? Very good amplifiers, T0, 100%. Sparkle, one below them, I get that as well. I think the most of the time, the more damage and the more AoE you can provide, the better. So Sparkle only has single target buffing, so I get why, but she still has that SP friendly aspect to her. So T0.5 is good. T1, these two, 100%. Pela AoE damage plus defense threat. Battery from Tingyun, very good. Yeah, Branya single target. Asta not that great. Yeah, single target things you don't care about. And then Aventurine 100% T0 in Pure Fiction. Very, very amazing character. Deals damage while keeping your team alive. And the more damage you can do in Pure Fiction, the better. Then Fushpan Ho-Ho, T0.5, 100%. T1, Gallagher, and Luocha, all very good. Can deal damage, AoE ult, but I'm not a fan of sustainers in general in Pure Fiction. I think that's why Aventurine would be the best one, because you don't care if your team dies. You just want to do as much damage as possible. So yeah, that's what the rest then is, of course, at the bottom here. So Pure Fiction is a very, very accurate tier list in my opinion. Very nice. The overall tier list, I think Prydwen is doing a very, very good job though. So make sure to check out the tier list for yourself if you want to get a better glance at it. Phenomenal job. Keep it up. And I think the most critical ones is Welt, maybe. Welt and Argenti need to get more love, and then I think it's an overall good thing. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about the tier list and where all the characters are standing, like a BOOTHILL for instance. Love to hear you guys' takes about that. Make sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel and it means the world to me if you can do that. If you want to join the Discord, make sure to do that as well. And if you want to support the channel even further, then become a member. I love you all. I'll be here on the next patch with the next tier list update, of course. Make sure to check that out. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Peace.